I have one more thing to speak on, which I have concern for, and it's the ideas which are going around right now in terms of what you saw in my last video and you wanting to pursue the same thing. Uh, you have to be thinking situationally. Uh, Over short term objectives, such as I want to buy this, you look at the bigger picture of your own situation there. It's just the same. You don't do things in the right order. You can't achieve your objectives because you have other groups' interests in the way because they see that you aren't doing things logically in the order that you should. Just like me, you go for a purchase before you realize that you have other responsibilities. Uh, you are going to end up with your same situation there, just like mine hasn't moved forward because I didn't have my priorities straight. In order for you to get your purchases, what's in the way there? Your financial situation? What's your work situation? Have you must have a an occupation which provides you with at least monthly income. If you don't have that, why is that? I think firstly you should be enjoying what you do for work. If you're like uh putting yourself through denial because you can maintain a satisfactory monthly income by doing so, how long are you going to be doing that? You have to think about that one. Next is your life situation. Before you get into buying a six pack and I know what to do now and whatever, uh hold off on that and think, are you supposed to be living where you are right now? Have you been there long enough to the point where you're sick of it and you need to move in order to live a positive life? If you're avoiding this because you use your mom for allowance, which you consider your CLA, and you become so lazy at enforcing on situations, you don't look like a victim acquiring their CLA. You look like uh, they have leverages on you, and you're ultimately still a negative going through the same cycles. Is that what you're doing? If you're going to be heading into this, you're not going to be what you're already thinking is an average ability having productive member of society, and you're not going to be doing it all just like we've seen up until now, and you're not going to be conducive towards like a flourishing bull market. Are you still going to conduct your same activities as a negative, and when positionally it's supposed to be as a positive, because you don't want to do the things that it takes? What it is there is that I see that there is this need for information when it comes to universal logic and formalization, and you're like not expecting it to come from the sky. When it comes to universal logic and the processes that exist in our universe, you can't have it any other way. You have to be accepting of it, while positionally you are against it. I don't expect that people will be, for the purpose of understanding the processes in the universe when it comes to formalization, or these situations involving corrupt governments and you trying to uh, pursue the track of what you're positionally, situationally set up for. Uh, League media is the way to acquire information because you can't achieve any of that on the front side and have any of it as actual without pursuing formalization or reformalization. You got 10 leagues, you got all this media, and how did these people come to be? You know these and the rights and wrongs of every story you come across. It tells you what it takes in order to have a positive only NACAP maintaining technology having planet. And you don't want to use me as your compendium for formalization logic, because you, and if you go through my videos and all my accounts trying to do that, you're going to see yourself in a frustrating, tiring, mentally negative situation of like always doing your homework on this one instructor and having to listen to his voice for how many hours a day. Don't do that. You need to get off of me in terms of thinking I have the answer for everything. And you need to go to your ears and your brain and listen to people when they talk and be attentive and be perceptive, and learn the lessons that have been displayed in the media that's out there by these leagues. That's what that does. Whether you play a game and get the abilities or not, or you read a comic book and you learn why these people have this conflict in this fashion, and why did these people decimate and have an invasion, and over here these people are the ones doing the enforcement and taking the bad guys in. That's all real shit, right? If you want to be on the side of society, such as I am a non like superhero contributing productive member in the corporate sector, then that's your life. It's all up to you. Just realize that you're on a planet with a government that's taking away your freedoms and your abilities, and you have to do something about it. You don't show concern, like I said, for your own planet, and you want to get yours and like have your kickbacks and be this kind of like up to here functioning member of society. You can do that. But if nobody steps up to the plate on your planet and it continues in that fashion and you continue to ignore it, your hopes and dreams of corporate success are actually hand in hand with formalization, because it includes technology. If you expect to live in a universe that is modern forever, with no improvement in terms of your government situation and it going downwards as such, do you expect the corporate sector to save your planet without a government? What does a government do versus a corporation? A corporation, a corporation has objectives to make profit. A government has the objective of providing the services to its residents that it needs and that it sees as necessary, including what? Keeping you from dying, providing you with your security, providing you from the convenience of not having to worry about getting some contracted virus, which was over and done with how many hundreds of years ago. Having a government that provides your children with a satisfactory education. Do you want to be living on a planet without any of that shit? No. Just like me. And I have taken the mantle in terms of being the lead administrator and making sure that all of it is in place eventually, even for myself. Why? I don't know. Maybe I'll have more kids eventually. You see my point? You don't give a shit about any of this, and you continue on as this selfish individual that has no concern for its planet, its community, its neighbors. You're just a selfish individual that's not interacting positively with society. That's what I want to do. My wit has brought me to the point where you are now listening to my words and taking them as like the truth, right? You know, I really, like, honestly, when it comes to situations like that, and I feel like there are like millions of people watching my videos with these 1 to like 20 views, I get no comments. I get TOS'd for being for having words that are too strong against my valid and needing to be enforced on enemies. Is the kind of situation it comes to. But what? Yeah, true. I keep fighting, and I have no worry of like losing my position here as long as I don't fuck up. It's the fact that you are not concerned enough about the next man living next door, or the situation that you would have. I don't know what you expect to do. Progress in your like acquiring of assets and riches and live on a barren planet, and you have to fend for yourself the whole fucking time. Is that what you want? No. Unless you come to think about these things and the reasons why. Yeah, my kikake, the initial event which brought me into all of this, instead of my career track as DJ Psychic, is what? My innate concern for the goodwill of mankind is there, actually. I have it, which is why I do this shit. I don't sell out to like some like major label and the feds and then just end my life like that. Because otherwise, what would you have if I did that? You wouldn't have me and you wouldn't have any of this going on. You understand what I mean? You don't start giving a fuck. It becomes evident through all these like corporate efforts, and regardless, you are still going to end up in the same situation even though you are supportive of my purchases. You don't gather through, maybe all it takes is just watching a movie and realizing that you have humanity, and you need to be kind of like proactive in these areas. That's all included when it comes to society and its movements. It's not all there. You don't have a functioning normal society for one. It's not positive for two. And then you have no technology next. And then your possibilities are not there. That's what you have right now. All I'm doing is fighting against it in addition to maintaining the objectives of my own life, which were there before any of this started. That's the kind of person I am. If you don't think you're fit for such, I don't know. You're just gonna be one of these people living in a hole, wishing you could like run game on people, and everyone else is going to be, pulling greenbacks out of their wallets. You're busy on the street trying to beg people for food and shit. You understand that one also? Good day.